And before we get into number one, I want to give a shout out to these honorable mentions. At number one, we have the M4Y. This is an autoloader American Tier 8 heavy tank. It has 4 shells in the clip, and the entry clip is 7 seconds, I do believe. Let's check it out. But you're shooting 310, and the magazine reload is 13 seconds, and the shell reload is 7 seconds. And 4 shells in the magazine. This thing is great. Honestly, the armor's good, and it does have the emergency track, so that will help you, get out of trouble if you need it. A great, great tank. And then up next, we have the Keeler. This is an extremely underrated tank, in my opinion. This thing has, the turret armor is crazy good. 350 alpha shot with good damage per minute. Let's check it out. It has 2,123 damage per minute. Very, very good. Almost 80 tons. Reload time is pretty much 10 seconds. Great penetration at 225. 350 alpha, 300 on your premium shell, which honestly, that's not bad. 400 high explosive with 60 penetration on that high explosive shell. 8 degrees of gun depression, but the turret on this thing is a beast. This thing can side scrape, and the little Schultz on the side, the little shields on the side, really help against, smashers or anything shooting HE at you. The T92E1, I think it is, the little tier 9 tank that shoots Hesh or whatever it is, it'll help out a lot with that. This tank is great. Honestly, one of my favorite tanks ever. And next we have the K2. Honestly, it was really, really close between the K2 and the 252U. And the reason the 252U won was pretty much because of the alpha and just the hard numbers. The 252U was a little faster. And the thing that the KV2 had over the 252U was the armor profile is a little better for beginners. It doesn't have quite that big weak spot, up here at the bottom. And the armor is really good. I think it has a more accurate gun. Yeah, tier 9 gun. Still 400 alpha, but it's one of the more accurate Russian heavy tanks. And honestly, this thing, I'm pretty sure this was given out for free, and this is just a very, very good tank. If you don't have the 252U and you have the K2, just stick with the K2. This is a great, great tank. And up next, we have the Action X. This thing, I don't really like it, but I'm putting it here because I respect it, okay? Let's just be honest. 190 a shot, I don't like that, but it has a very quick reload at 4.3 seconds, 2,651 damage per minute, very good penetration on your standard and your armor, your APCR. High explosive does not have good penetration at 42. And, honestly, it's a pretty good frontline heavy. I just don't like it because of the alpha, and it's a big target. Look at it compared to the KV2. You literally could put another turret on top of the KV2, and it'd be the same size as the Action X. And honestly, the European nation had a couple of very, very good tanks that, I could argue that all of the European nation tanks could switch in and out for number 5. But we have the Basante C45. This thing has spaced armor all over it, man. Like, this thing is hard to hit, has very good armor. It has a reserve shell, so it's pretty much, you really want to use it as a one-shot or a single-shot tank. And then if you have a kill shot, or, if you're about to die, or if you can get a tank killed real quick and you're not going to get shot, you can use that reserve shell. But it's doing 310. It has 2 shells. And let's check it out. 2,247 damage per minute. Very good for a reserve shell tank. Reload time between shots is 2.5 seconds. For that second shell, it's 5.78. So you really just want to be using that second shell. But if you have to, use that shell number 1. It's going to be 16.51 seconds plus the 5.78. So that's a long reload. But, it's there in case you need it. 310 alpha a shot. 243 millimeters of penetration is great. Honestly, this tank, let's check the speed real quick. 61 tons. Engine power is 874 horsepower. Chance of fire when engine is hit, 20%. That's not the best. Okay, top speed. Forward is 35, reverse is 19. Very good reverse speed for a heavy tank. Average speed is 28, not horrible. Power to weight is not the best at 14.1. Hull turn rate is 37.57 degrees per second. This thing is not bad. Very, very good tank. You could have switched it out with the Torn Bond. Really just depends on what tank you like more. And then up next we have the Emil 1951. I know a lot of people could say you could just get the Tech Tree, but this Emil, I forgot exactly what it has better. I think it's a little faster or something, has a little better clip. This is a auto loader with a tier 9 gun. It has 3 shots. Yeah, 3 shots at 310, a hit. 2,097 damage per minute. Magazine reload is 20.60 seconds, 0.6 seconds. And then in between shells, the reload is 3 seconds. So it's 310, 3 seconds, 310, 3 seconds, and then you get a 20-second reload. This thing just unleashes damage extremely fast. 10 degrees of gun depression. This thing is very fast. Let's check it out. It's only 26 tons. Wow. 402.5 engine power, horsepower. Chance of fire is 20 again. Top speed is 40, reverse is 20. That is great. Average speed is 30. That's good. Power to weight is 15.3 horsepower per ton. That's very good. And the whole turn rate is 39.36 degrees per second. This thing is great. And then up last, we have the Skoda T56. This thing is all about its gun, its alpha, and more importantly, its HE. This thing is doing 450 a shot, and it's a bit of a longer reload. Let's check it out. Where is it at? Damage per minute is 1,732. Reload time is pretty much 16 seconds for your 450 alpha shot. But the high explosive has 73 millimeters of penetration. That's doing an average of 640. Let's check that out. So you can max roll for about 800 in this tank if you can penetrate your HE round. That's crazy. It has extremely good armor. The turret's really tough. There is a tiny spot on the hatch that you can hit on that right side up there. But the front plate's very tough. You can side scrape in it. Honestly, it's a great, great tank. But I do think some of the newer players would be better off with the 252 because it has better damage per minute and a little bit more troll armor. And it's a little faster. But OG players, very good players, they will use the Skoda's HE abilities and get crazy amounts of damage.